everyone, Joko here, and for this video, we're taking a deep dive into this full-on NUX pedal board setup. So this board is designed to handle everything from funk rhythm to classic blues tones and even heavy metal rhythm sounds. So I'll show you each pedal, break down their sound, go over some of their key specs, and explain why they're essential to building a versatile and professional grade setup. Plus, we'll be exploring how combining the raw feel of analog pedals with the flexibility of digital gear can give you the best of both worlds. Whether you're jamming at home, tracking in the studio, or hitting the stage live. So let's dive right into the chain. So starting with the MG30, I need this at the first because it handles my pitch-based effect, which is my octaver, and my fuzz sound. Pitch and fuzz circuits respond best when they're at the first of the chain, when they receive a pure, unaltered signal directly from the guitar. Having it first ensures tight response, perfect tracking, and clean dynamic control. Plus, the MG30's expression pedal gives me volume control as well as a wah right at the start. So let me show you what the MG30 does in the rig. First, we have the octaver for funky lines. Alright, then we have the fuzz right here. Then when they're both engaged, they can do a really cool octafuzz sound. Then we have a wah right here for your Hendrixy stuff. Awesome. Next up in the chain is the NUX KOMP Core DELUXE MKII. So this is the dynamic control center. This is a true analog compressor pedal featuring 100% analog path for warmth and clarity. First, we have the clip knob, which lets you dial in the output of the compression to match levels. The sustain is there to dial in how much compression you want. And the volume is the overall input volume from the guitar. It has a blend control knob that lets you perfectly balance your dry and compressed signals. The attack toggle switch can let you toggle between a fast and slow attack. The fast attack is really good for percussive funky stuff like this. And the slow attack is really good for solos for more sustain. Next, we have a sustain knob which sets how much compression you want. And the volume control is there for input volume. So having a compressor in your chain will even out the tone, it thickens clean tones, enhances articulation, and brings up the sustain for solos. So having a compressor pedal in your chain can even out the tone, it thickens up the clean tones, enhances articulation, brings up the sustain for your solos, and tightens up funky, clean rhythms without ever making the guitar feel squashed or unnatural. It runs on a standard 9-volt power with a low current draw, making it super pedal board friendly. Here's it bypassed. Here's it turned on. Here's how it sounds when it evens up a drive pedal. Here's it turned off. following that is the NUX Drive Core Deluxe MK2. This overdrive pedal is a real powerhouse, offering 8 carefully modded drive modes based on legendary pedals. So you have TS808, TS9, you have some higher gain models, and even a Nobel's ODR pedal. This is a full-on analog pedal, so it's very rich and full of harmonics. So here you get access to a wide tonal range, from classic mid-pushed overdrive for blues and rock to heavier saturated tones, perfect for modern applications. The Drive Core Deluxe MK2 features a dedicated drive knob to adjust the gain, a tone knob for the usual tone shaping, and a level knob for the output control. There's also a post-boost feature which, when engaged by holding down the foot switch, this activates an independent mid-boost at 600 Hz placed after the drive circuit. This is perfect for pushing up your sound even harder, especially when you have an amp or even an amp sim after it. This gives the lead tone that extra lift without changing the drive texture. And the boost at 600 Hz gives a great mid-boost that helps your solo cut through the mix. Whether you're using it standalone or as a boost, it's like having an entire gain section living inside one pedal. So for the purpose of this pedal board, I primarily use the TS808 circuit to boost and color the pedals after it. Here's how it sounds by itself. Here's how the post-boost sound. Let's hear how it sounds when it pushes a preamp pedal. So here's how the tone sounds without the drive core. Here's how it sounds with the drive core. So after the drive, let's move on to the preamp section. First up is this 59 BASSGUY pedal. This is an analog recreation of the classic Fender Bassman. The 59 BASSGUY also includes a cool feature, a patch cable jump toggle switch. Just like what guitar players do by physically patching the channels together on an old Bassman. Flipping this switch virtually adds a jump to the normal and bright channels, adding a touch more gain and fullness to the tone. It's a small detail, but it really brings out the authenticity and the tonal flexibility of the real thing into this little pedal. So for this pedal board, it's the low gain stage. I keep it at the low gain feature since it's the low gain drive of the pedal board, but I can easily switch on to the jump switch whenever I'm craving for more gain. So here's how it sounds with the toggle switch disengaged. Here's how it sounds with the toggle switch on. This really sounds good, especially when it's boosted by the drive core. Then comes the NUX Amp Core Studio. This beast features 26 amp models, 33 built-in IRs, and it's also a USB interface. So it's serving as the high-gain preamp pedal of the board. So I just switch on to this. Right now on scene 2, I have everything disengaged. Then I just flip over to scene 1. Then I have the Fireman preamp from the Ampcore Studio. So this is what I use for really high gain sounds, for metal and even solos. Sounds really good when it's boosted by the drive core. Now next up, for modulation duties, we have the ModCore DELUXE MKII. This covers chorus, flanger, phaser, vibrato, tremolo, and also a vibe sound. I primarily use the choruses on this for cleans and also for leads. So here's how it sounds with the clean tone and the compressor. Here's how it sounds with a lead sound. It's really good for classic 80s tones. Whenever I feel Hendrixy or Van Halen-y, I can just switch to the vibe setting or the flanger setting. After that, we have the NUX Solid Studio MK2. This locks in my amp and cab sounds. It's not just an IR loader. It's a complete amp and cabinet modeling solution powered by NUX's new Cyber IR technology and the TSAC algorithm. You can fully customize mic types, positions, and cabinet settings with a stereo IR engine running dual 1024 sample resolution. It features 8 legendary preamp models, 5 different power amp models like the EL84, EL34, 6V6, 6L6, and also a solid state power amp. And it also offers a lot of user IR slots. I mainly use this as my main amp and cab simulator, and I love using the built-in hall reverb when I'm going direct to PA or recording. So it also has different type of ambience effects, so it has different types of delays, you have different types of reverbs. It also has an EQ for more meticulous tone shaping. So its purpose on the pedal board is it's the main amp and cab sim whenever I'm going direct to the front of house. But when I'm playing through an actual amp on stage, I can just easily switch off the amp and IR sim. So whenever I'm playing live or recording in the studio, the Solid Studio MK2 makes my board sound like it's running through a world-class mic'd up amp with studio-grade precision. So here's how it sounds when it's bypassed. Here's how it sounds when it's engaged. Next is the NUX Timecore DELUXE MK2. It covers my whole delay section. It has analog delay, tape echo, ping pong stereo delays, reverse, and even NUX's phi delay that feels naturally musical. Its purpose on the board is to add more texture to the lead sound and ambient clean sounds. So here's how it sounds with a lead sound. really sounds good whenever I feel Eric Johnson-y. Here's how it sounds with a clean sound. Now finally, the board closes with the NUX VERB Core Deluxe MK2. It's a powerful stereo reverb engine with classic modes like room, hall, plate, and also a shimmer, mod verb, and a lot more for your ambient soundscapes. It also has a freeze function that can freeze up your reverb for more cinematic and ambient soundscapes. It's primarily used for ambient soundscaping, so it sounds like this. I use it more with the clean. Now here's what the freeze function does. You just hold on to the foot switch right here, then you're good to go. And powering everything you just saw is the NUX ZEUS power supply. This professional grade isolated power supply provides 10 fully isolated outputs, 6 fixed 9V 500mA outputs for most analog and digital pedals. You have 3 adjustable outputs that can switch between 9V, 12V, and even 18V for pedals requiring more headroom, and you also have 1 variable voltage output that can easily slide in between 9V to 18V. That's really good for some fuzz and overdrive pedals. The high amperage of the outputs really helped out a lot since this pedal board has some digital effects and also a multi-effects device. The ZEUS also features an ultra-low noise circuitry preventing unwanted hum or interference, which is critical when you're running a combination of digital processors and analog effects. Really good for hybrid boards. The isolated outputs ensure each pedal gets clean individual power, which helps maintain signal integrity and dynamic range across the whole board. A good power supply is like a solid foundation. You don't notice it when it's perfect, but when it's bad, your whole rig suffers. With the ZEUS, everything stays stable, clear, and completely silent, whether you're tracking in the studio, jamming at home, or playing live on stage. As you can see, it's not a full-on analog board. By combining digital flexibility with analog immediacy, you can get a setup that's insanely versatile but still feels musical and natural. You can record straight into an interface, go direct to a PA, or jam through an amp. It's adaptable to whatever the session or the stage demands. Digital gives you the ability to quickly access multiple amp sounds, instantly recall presets, and you can have a compact rig for live or studio work. But layering with that with analog pedals, like real compressors, analog drives, modulations, it grounds the feel of the rig. It gives your tone an organic, physical interaction that pure digital sometimes misses. Not all the time. It really gives your experience and your tone an organic, physical interaction that pure digital sometimes doesn't have. It's not just about the sound, it's about the experience of feeling every little change under your fingers instantly. A hybrid board like this lets you chase inspiration without limits, and it still keeps you connected to that raw human side of music making and playing. Even though digital technology has taken over a huge part of the music world today, from amp sims to plugins to modelers, there's something about analog pedals that continues to be irreplaceable. Analog circuits maintain a continuous signal flow, preserving the natural feel and dynamic response of your playing. They react organically to how you pick, strum, and attack the strings, giving you a direct and emotional connection to your sound. Beyond the technical, there's also the experience. The physical act of stomping on a pedal, feeling the click of a switch, twisting a knob mid-song to dial in just the right bite or shimmer, it's immediate, tactile, and personal. There's no menus, no waiting, just pure connection. In a world where convenience often wins, an analog pedal board reminds us that sometimes the most inspiring tones are not the most polished ones. They're the ones that breathe, the ones that fight back just a little bit, and the ones that make you truly feel. That's why no matter how good or authentic digital gets, analog will always have a place, and it's still really fun. So thank you for hanging out with me today and checking out my full NUX pedal board setup. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell below for more videos, and drop a comment below. Let us know what type of pedal board build or deep dive you want to see next. I'm Jocko from NUX, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.